Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Sholto Machperson, and I am a accounting software consultant and editor of digitalfirst.com. And I'm also joined by Sam Hassan. Sam, how do you pronounce your surname? Is it Hassan, is that right?
Yes, it's Sam Hassan, yes.
Hassan. And also I think Robin Sands is on the call as well.
I am hovering here too, yes.
G'day, Robin. How you doing? And of course, we have Di Lucas, Diane of CloudStorm. Hi, Di.
Hi there. How you going?
Excellent. All right. Well, today we have Link4, which, if you don't know, is a pioneer in e-invoicing, and this is a totally new category. There's no one else doing this, as far as I know, in Australia, in this fashion. So it's quite exciting. I've been going through it. I've actually been talking to Robin for a while back now, and just catching up on all the things that they've been doing. And this is actually a really interesting technology. It's not a big showy piece of technology, but I think it has enormous potential, and very keen to hear more about it. So, Sam, should we start with you? Do you want to just give us a little bit about where the idea came from for Link4?
Basically, the idea started by talking to small and medium businesses. We were interviewing them, trying to find out one of the pain points they have, and invoicing was one of the issues that they constantly mentioned. We have been talking to a restaurant owner, and he said that they receive around 200-300 invoices per month, and he and his wife, they have to process those invoices manually, or they have to scan them and make sure the scanning is accurate enough after hours. So me and Robin, we used to work together for a long time now, and we thought about how we can solve this idea, because cloud accounting systems are on the cloud, but they are not able to talk to each other. And that's how we started thinking about or planning to develop Link4, to allow cloud accounting system to communicate and exchange invoices instantly on the cloud.
So, and what were you and Robin doing before? And you say you worked together before. Where was that?
So we used to work together in two different companies, actually. One was a global software company, and the other one was a digital agency. Robin has more than 15 years of experience in enterprise software, and I come more of the software development and digital side of the business.
Okay, terrific. So e-invoicing, I guess not everyone would know what it is. I wasn't quite sure what it was. So why don't you give us a definition of what e-invoicing means in Link4 terms?
Yeah, I'll take that one. The concept of e-invoicing is for invoices to be electronically delivered to an accounting system. You'll get some people who will say that sending an invoice via fax is e-invoicing, but it's not. Or sending an invoice via PDF through an email is e-invoicing, but that's just one side of the equation. E-invoicing is to be able to send it electronically and have it delivered electronically, which benefits both the sender and the receiver.
Great. Okay.
In reality, I guess this has actually probably been around for about 40 years. Large organizations, that's with complex ERP implementations, but for small businesses, this is very new.
Yes, the term for larger businesses is called EDI, isn't it? Electronic Document Exchange.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're basically bringing EDI to SME.
Yeah, at a simple and affordable way. And I think one of the big differences as well is with EDI, there's implementations that there's certain processes that need to then be followed with that implementation. Where for small business, they don't want anything new. So the way we do it is it just runs in the background. They use their current cloud accounting system. They go through their same current processes, and we don't add new software or buttons on the screen. But once they're linked, this happens behind the scenes for them.
And how does it happen? I mean, I watched the videos beforehand, and I was amazed to see that it just, you literally create the invoice and approve the invoice, sales invoice, in, say, MYOB, and then it appears as a bill in Xero in the draft bills. And I'd love for you to show us a video of that later on. But that, it seems like it was actually quite, I don't know, it was quite amazing to see that happen just so seamlessly, just saving in one place, one program, and then totally different programs seeing the same data appear.
So basically, we make it available for small and medium businesses to exchange invoices between cloud accounting systems. And I can show you the demo now without showing you videos, if you would like. But
yeah, sure.
Let's do that. So basically, in this case, let's say the supplier is using SASU software, for example, and he will send an invoice to his customer, which is using Xero. So you should be able to see my SASU screen now.
Yes.
Great. Okay. So basically, as I said, the supplier would just create the invoice as usual, and just save it. Save and close. And at this point, Link4 will basically pick the invoice from SASU and deliver this invoice to Xero, which is going to happen in a few minutes. And as you can see, the invoice is here now. And not just that, we push the invoice, but we also push a copy of the PDF file. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if the business need to review the original invoice coming from the supplier, they can still see that invoice here.
Right. And when you click on the notes at the bottom of that, so if you scroll down the bill there,
you will be able to see that this invoice was delivered through Link4.
See. So, and just expand the show history and notes so I can see what else it says in there. Okay, right. Okay,
so it shows
invoice and then it attaches the PDF. Okay.
Yeah, but on Link4 now, if the customer would like to connect with more customers to send invoices to them, basically when they authorize Link4 to access Xero, which is like any other add-on, just authorizing, we grab the list of their customers and suppliers, which is already on Xero. If someone is already on the network, they can just accept the connection. And if not, they can invite them to join Link4. And if they are on the network, they can find out what software they are using so they can exchange invoices with them. But yeah, but we make sure that no one is able to send invoices without acceptance first. So you have to accept receiving invoice from one of the suppliers.
Okay, that's great.
But not just that. If you would like to see the invoices that you have sent, you can see that here, and you'll be able to see the invoice status, if it was delivered or still waiting for approval from the customer. And with each and every invoice, we send a notification email with the PDF attached, and through that email, you can see if the email as well was delivered or opened or not. So the customer will have clarity of the status of the invoice.
So what is the difference between waiting for approval and delivered? Is waiting for approval sitting in the draft?
Well, some of the customers might want to review the invoices first at Link4 before it goes to their accounting software. Basically, my customers and others who doesn't have a draft section, they don't want the invoice to go straight away to their accounting software without approval first.
So it doesn't happen automatically if you're going to MYOB. You have to log into Link4 first?
It's an option. The customer can select what they like. If they would like us to push the invoice straight away to their MYOB, we can. If they would like to review it first, also we can do that. But it's
Sam,
yes.
So just a point of clarification then. So if I'm, as a customer, wanting to send out invoices to a customer of yours, wanting to send my invoices to my clients need to be set up on Link4?
Yes, both customer and supplier should be on Link4 because we have to have authorization to be able to access their accounting software, basically.
Okay. So that's how you can then do, QBO to Xero or
yes.
MYOB to Xero or whatever it might be. Okay. So I might be jumping in ahead of you there, Sholto, on this one. What's the success rate of clients, accepting this process?
Well, if basically it depends on your relation with your customer. If you have a good relation and they are forward thinkers, they basically accept the connection, and they just start receiving invoices straight away. And even to help with that, we give you the option to customize the invitation email that you're sending to them. So basically, you can.
So then, what could happen then is that if you then have your customers, my clients, for example, so I'm a customer of Link4, and then I invite my clients in, then my clients could then go, I really like this, and then do the same thing with their customers.
Yes, they can.
Oh, that's good for you.
Well, that's good for us and good for the customers as well, because it will make the process easier for them to, rather than having to do the data entry. And with data entry of invoices, there is always errors, and with the scanning software, there is always the approval process or the review process to make sure that the numbers are matching, because at best cases it's 70% accuracy with the scanning.
Okay. I noticed under the customer software column there, you've got every software but QuickBooks Online. I'm assuming you can do QuickBooks Online?
No, yeah, sure, we can. This is just test accounts. This is one of our test accounts. But yeah, for sure, we can make QuickBooks.
And does QuickBooks have a drafts folder?
No.
No.
So is Xero the only one with the drafts folder, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So because it's quite, I guess, because I was thinking about this a lot. I mean, one of the things that really helps is with invoice fraud, right? I mean, you've seen some amazing stories. I think it was Google lost $100 million or more to fake invoices being sent to its accounts department, and they look like a supplier, but the bank account details are totally different, like to basically hackers who have just spoofed a company's invoice, and they've just kept approving these invoices being paid out, and had no way of verifying that the bank account that the invoice was from who they thought it was, and the bank account detail was correct too. So if Link4 is acting as some kind of middleware, did you see it playing that kind of role?
It does help out with that side, and you may also be aware that in Australia this year we've had several, I guess, malicious emails come from someone pretending to be MyOb, and they've got invoices attached, and then you click on those, and then that goes into phishing scams and that too. So we've had a few examples locally with that, and it's not no slight on MyOb's name. It's just something that the people used. And it looks real, so you click on it and then you open yourself up. This e-invoicing actually does get around that and is a lot safer, because you don't need to click on an invoice in an email to see if it's real. You can actually log in and see, did they send me an invoice? Yes, it's in here. That must be a real email. Or no, it's not, didn't come through. So it saves you clicking on suspect invoices. And similar for that case you just said there, Sholto, as well.
So there's also purchase orders. Bigger companies use purchase orders to verify the validity of their invoices. Does your interface read purchase orders and things like that? Does it have anywhere to bring that through when it's reading for the accuracy and things like that? Does it pop that through anywhere?
Yes, we understand the importance of the purchase orders, and basically we started working on purchase orders, and this is not released to the customers yet, to our users yet, but we are already able to transfer purchase orders between Xero customers, and we are working on the rest as well. So basically the customer can issue the purchase order to the supplier, and the supplier will issue the invoice based on the purchase order. So to match the purchase order straight away.
So just with the Xero examples you've got there, the purchase order would arrive to the supplier and appear as an invoice, like a sales invoice?
No, will appear as a purchase order as well.
Sorry, as a purchase order? Right.
Yeah.
And how does the data then go from that purchase order?
In Xero, with purchase orders, you can raise either an invoice or a bill, because when there's a purchase order, you can either issue an invoice based on that, or
right, I see. Okay, so and what about credit notes? I saw, I mean, there's kind of lots of little things that you can send. Is that something that you will add in the future?
Yes, we don't have credit notes yet, but yeah, in the future we're looking at implementing that as well. But one of the things now that we have, because we are working closely with accountants and bookkeepers and small businesses, some of them keep giving us cases and ideas about what they need in the software. And this is one of the reasons why now we allow the customers to allocate accounts and cost centers through Link4 before it goes to the accounting software. So they don't have to go to the accounting software again. So when you receive an invoice, you can allocate each line item to a different account if you want. If that's the case, maybe you are getting one invoice for printing, and in the same invoice there is office expenses or office equipment, if this invoice is coming from office work, for example. So you can do the allocation from Link4 straight away without having to go to the accounting software. And you can then save and send the invoice to Xero, ready to be ready and allocated as well.
Does that work for the other accounting programs? So say
Yes.
QBO or
Yes.
MIB or whatever it is?
Yes,
Okay.
it works for all of them. And yeah, it makes it easier for businesses, especially if they have different locations, and let's say one of the managers will approve the invoice before it goes to the accounting software, and they actually don't want that manager to access the accounting software itself. So he can do the approval of the process, the approval process here as well.
That's a really good idea. So yeah, it becomes like a invoice management and approval process. Oh, that's good. But I guess I was thinking about this and picking up on Diane's point about adoption. It's my feeling was that to get this really moving, you're probably going to need to find someone like one of a Coles or a Woolies to say all the suppliers have got to do it, because then once you force everyone to do it, and it's either if I want to get the contract and I've got to do this, then you get heaps of people straight up. It's kind of like with Walmart telling all its suppliers that they couldn't sell on Amazon.
Yeah, that's the sort of point I was getting at. Exactly.
Yeah.
I just got a feeling, that general mum and dad businesses, yes, excuse me, they might be forward thinking, but it's just again, it's a foreign technology. And this is the second time I've looked at this, and I've, second or third time, and I've only just got that. So it's, conceptually, it's a bit of a brain twist.
And that is something that we've ended up facing because it is a new thought. And just on your comment there, Sholto, some large organisations we're actually talking with now from that perspective that they want to, one of them particularly wants to send all their invoices out through Link4, so they'll send them to their customers that way. And another one, a government agency wants to receive all their invoices through Link4. So they will push that pressure onto their customers to do it that way. But we are finding some like local businesses that see the benefits, they've got the idea, and they've approached their suppliers and said, we would like to get our invoices this way. And like a small business in Adelaide actually said that to a large Australian company, and the large Australian company said, well, if you're asking for it, we'll do it. And we're happy to see that kind of uptake because it is actually benefiting both sides.
It reminds me of say, the Invoice Smash, or what was the one that that Intuit bought? Invoice, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, those Invoice is a great case study for this, because lots of small businesses, the only recurring bills are getting it from utilities, and it's less so from other small businesses, and there might be more sporadic users of those services. But yeah, your original story about a cafe or a restaurant or those types of people, I mean, they do have heaps of regular invoices, and that's. So are you doing a lot in hospitality? I mean, is that a big area of focus for you?
Yeah, that was, I mean, that's one of the things that drove Sam and I in the beginning, was we saw, some family-run businesses, and this gives them time back for the family. So we started focusing in that area. And, we find there's like wine suppliers, a hotel may have several wine suppliers. And in a sense, both sides of that equation are small business. So they're, supporting each other. And then as you start building out the network, then you find that there's several in hospitality that have similar suppliers and similar customers. And so it does actually build through that sector almost virally.
Well, you mentioned virally. How fast is this growing? Sam mentions you've got 130 customers so far.
Yeah, no one goes as fast as we want, but it is, because it's new technology, there is that scenario of like, okay, I think I get it now. Let me test this with one of my customers. So we actually have quite a number of organizations, both large and small, that are going through pilots or doing testing. And they're proving it to themselves. And then once we're getting through that, then we expect there to be an uptake. But as you mentioned, it is a new thought, and until people really get it and see how it works, we expect the uptake will slowly increase in the coming 6 to 12 months.
Do you have any, like a little badge or text that you can, boilerplate text you can give to the people who are signing up to put on their invoices when they're sending it to people? For example, it says, I'm on Link4 if you want to exchange invoices automatically for free or something like that. Then yes. Because I'm totally going to sign up. Like, I looked at the pricing; it's really reasonable, and I'm not, I'm still going to be on the free plan, so I'm going to do it just to see how it works. But yeah, I'll be dealing with a lot of people who won't. There's not a big onus on me to go and explain it to people, but if they see something on my invoice.
Yeah, so basically we have done two things to cover this point. Number one is, as you can see, we grab the list of customers and suppliers from your accounting software. And if you have their email addresses, this is great, because you can select all of them, and you can even customize the message you would like to send to them, saying, yes, I'm using Link4 now as an invoicing software or solution, and just join me. And they will get an email with the link, and that will create an account for them on Link4, and they will even get your invitation and connect with you straight away. The process is very easy, and you can customize the message you would like to send to them, and even you can use your own logo and your own email address that you have used to create your account on Link4. But even before that step, you can do another one, which is basically, if you have hundreds of customers and suppliers, especially if we are talking about one of the enterprises, they can use the software survey feature, which is basically, we send the software a survey first to the customers and suppliers, asking them in the email itself what accounting software you are using. And they can just pick the one they are using. Either it's a cloud accounting software or ERP system or even Excel files. So you, as a customer of Link4, can find out who is ready to connect with you on the cloud straight away.
And which platforms do you support?
So we support Xero, Machperson, SaaSU, Sage1, and QuickBooks.
And Reckon One I saw on there too.
And Reckon One, yes.
And Excel.
No, we are not supporting Excel.
What was it?
We are showing that this customer is using Excel. We are showing that this customer is using Excel, unfortunately. Yeah, but we are supporting all of them, and currently we are already integrating more systems to the network, like Reckon Account Hosted and others.
And just further on your thought there, Sholto, if you're sending an invoice out, like if you're using Link4, the invoice, and your customer's not, your invoice will still get delivered to them via an email with a PDF on it. And it is actually in that message it says, oh, if you were using Link4, this would have gone straight into your accounting system.
Okay, right.
Data entry. So is built into the system.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the template there. I mean, the way I would tell people, because like template emails, most people just ignore them. I would send a personal email and individual email and say, hi, can you look at this? Because there's a security element there, like you're you're asking someone else to share their accounting program with this new app that is totally new to the scene. No one's heard of it before, and that's quite a lot of you as the person asking have to have quite a lot of built up a lot of trust already. So yeah, that's why I think like a personal email would be more effective than a template email. I wouldn't use a template to push it out to heaps of people, because I think they'd just ignore it. That's how it looks a bit dodgy.
It does make sense, and one thing that we included in the software, as Sam shows, that you can actually use your own email address and your own logo, so it looks like it comes from you. But we are finding the best results are when someone sends a personal email initially saying, "Oh, by the way, you're going to get an email from Link4 to join." It's awesome. Sign up for it, because then we can send emails and it'll be really good. So we're finding a combination of that works because of that very reason you said. You're opening up your accounting system. Make sure you trust them first.
Well, one of the best cases or case studies that we have seen lately is basically accountants and bookkeepers inviting their customers to use Link4, because basically, as you know, some of the accountants and bookkeepers, they have to send an invoice to their customer, and they are managing the accounting software for them as well. So the bookkeeper or the accountant will find himself creating the invoice 2 times, one in his accounting software and another time in his customer software. If they both on Link4, he will create the invoice 1 time and it will go straight away to the accounting software of the customer. And one of the bookkeepers already have, like, I would say 30% of his customers on Link4 now, and the invoice is going through. And we are happy that both of them are able still to use it on the free plan as well.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, because I guess they don't even have to tell the customer, because they're just doing it internally, and the customer will invoice people normally.
So just on that, then we're actually, people like myself who use HubDoc or Receipt Bank or any of the other data extraction or collections, sort of not so much collection, but softwares, you're bypassing that then, aren't you? So that's an interesting point, because I mean, we're not actually entering it in twice as such, but processing it within those other programs.
Yes. So basically, rather than processing the invoice 2 times, you can just create an invoice in your accounting software. If your customer is connected to Link4 as well, and you are, the invoice will be in their accounting software straight away. If you are the one doing the approval or the customer doing the approval, there is no process for you to do anymore.
Yeah, so then there's no need to then have that sent through, forwarded via email into, the dedicated email account of whatever program you're using. Then it just goes straight into the into each other's files. Okay.
Yes.
So I might have missed, but does it actually attach itself to the bill entry as well?
Yes, on Xero, if especially with Xero, if you have, we attach the invoice PDF to the purchase bill. Let me show you that.
Not on the actual bill, so only in Xero, or the other softwares as well?
I would say most of them, because it's one of the things that depends on the accounting software itself and the API features. But in case you don't have that on your accounting software, all the purchases and all the invoices, PDF copies, are saved on Link4 for you for 7 years as well. So you can review the invoice PDF on Link4 if you would like.
But does it attach to QBO and MYB?
Yes. QBO and MYB, I will say yes.
Okay. So one of the benefits that I find with specifically HubDoc is that you can actually push the attachments, so the soft copies of the digital copies of those purchase dockets through to through to Dropbox or Box or anything like that. So you've got a totally independent external storage. So if you decide to disappear from that particular program, or you no longer want to use that program or accounting program or whatever it might be, you've still got everything stored on Dropbox. So you're saying you're actually storing everything here, which is great. Is there a view then to actually perhaps push those push those digital copies of the purchases through to another program like Dropbox or Box, or Google Drive or whatever it might be, so that they're actually held away from the program as well?
We can do that. We haven't received any request to do this anyway, but yes, we can do that. And even if the customer decides that he maybe doesn't want to use Link4 anymore and he would like a copy of all the PDFs, we can easily transfer all the files to his Dropbox.
You say easily, so say I've got thousands of transactions, is it still an easy function?
Yes, yes. For us, it's easy because basically we are classifying or storing the invoices of each customer separately. So we basically will transfer the files from our system to whatever the customer would like to use, either Dropbox or Google Drive.
Okay, so rather than the customer having to download the attachments or download the saved copies, you can actually grab them all together and pop them over into a linked file of some sort, linked folder.
Yes, but yes, basically yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, that's actually a bit of a bonus, because other software say no, you've got to download it all, and that's just a ridiculous scenario when you're talking about years and thousands of transactions.
Sam, you could build an API to any of those cloud storage programs, and I mean that'd be something that you could add to this, right?
Yes, sure. Well, basically we are focusing on getting the invoices and all the other features around the invoices for our customers first, but adding a connection to API connection to Drive or Dropbox is something basically we can do. Yes.
Okay. Well, from my sort of experience so far, it seems to be a bit of a selling point, a bit of a bonus, if that's possible.
Sure, we will take this in consideration, and you might find this on Link4 very soon.
Okay.
And that might be worth just adding Dropbox and seeing what kind of interest that prompts before you go, before doing all the others. But just a question about e-invoicing through the government. So, Robin, last time we spoke, we talked about the government's plans to do something similar with e-invoicing. Do you know how far that has progressed? And also, isn't that a threat to Link4?
Look, it has progressed, and you know what the government's like. But it's actually surprisingly progressed quite well. It's not a threat in the sense that, look, we've sat in the room with other software companies, and the thought here is we kind of need each other, and we need everyone to be pushing on to e-invoicing, and it's actually a really big marketplace. Fortunately, I guess for us, there's a lot of companies doing the larger businesses, but there's not too many software solutions for small business. And actually, the more we're out in the marketplace, the more we realize that we're a jump ahead of the rest. So no doubt there'll be more players coming into the market as the demand picks up for it, but it's definitely something that benefits the end users, so that's why people will start using it. It's also why the government are using it, and they are doing tests as we speak. We were on the phone this afternoon actually with both a federal and a state government department that are going through their tests at the moment, because they really want to make it happen. And one of the benefits for them too is they want to pay more on time. They don't want to have so many outstanding days for small businesses with their claims that they're sending in.
And what will a government-backed e-invoicing framework do to Link4?
That opens up the marketplace for us, because they're encouraging use of it. So now the government isn't, running any of these e-invoicing things themselves, but they basically come up and say what you need to do is, if your software need to communicate in a certain language, this is the language they can communicate in. So all of the software companies like Xero and Mob and IBM and some of the larger ones, they all realize what that common language is in between, and then we can communicate that through. Now, Link4 already does that, so we're in the middle of that. And if it is something that a company wants to do today, they just knock on our door and we do it straight away, which is what happened with the New South Wales government and one of the We're currently doing a 3-month pilot there because they want to see how this works, obviously with small business into the government.
And what are the plans? I noticed on one of the press releases you mentioned international expansion into the UK in 2018. What the UK, I know they're very aggressively moving towards a digital tax scenario. I don't know if e-invoicing is part of it, but what are the plans for the UK, and why did you choose the UK over the US or other places?
Yeah, e-invoicing is an interesting topic globally at the moment, and there is benefits to small business, but there is also benefits to large businesses and governments. So there's some different directions being pushing in on it. And I know through some global meetings, they are impressed by what the Australian government is proposing as far as an e-invoicing standard for a whole country. And so they are looking at that. Now, one of the issues they have in the UK is there's e-invoicing happening with larger organisations, but there's not solutions for small business that they can get them involved. So we actually got contacted by the Lord Mayor's office in London for us to consider coming and setting up an office over there because they need that help. Very nice actually to get that email out of the blue. So we are talking with the UK from that perspective. From the US, which is a huge market, and they're just starting some discussions in this area, but as you know, they still use checkbooks, and there's still a lot of paper stuff they prefer.
Awesome car.
I don't think they're ready for this type of technology yet, whereas there's other countries that are more ready for it, including Canada and including Singapore, which are other countries we're discussing with at the moment.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Sam, Robin. That was a great demo. Di, did you have any other further questions?
No, it's a lot clearer second time round to actually understand what it's all about. So, yes, I've just got to get my head around how to approach clients and things.
What would you tell them? I mean,
what we recommend, by the way.
Sorry,
jumping on it. Because it's free, we've tried to make it free to remove the barrier for entry. And the best thing we just suggest to everyone listening now is just sign up for an account, try it with someone you trust, and see how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Suck it and see.
But Di, would you use it across your clients to save, like if you are doing invoicing for your clients or processing their bills, would you? I think
try it with a couple of them first just to see how it actually works. Dip your toe in the water. I think that's a great idea. So yes, I think I'll definitely have to look at that side of it when I stop being so busy with end of year stuff. But no, I do like that idea. I think that bypass. It's not. I think in combination with Receipt Bank or HubDoc or EntryLace or whatever you're using, there's definitely need for those sort of capture items of receipt things. This is just another linchpin, I think, that really hooks in and yeah, it's going to take out some of those other bits and pieces. And so long as it attaches itself to the bill, then I'm happy. So you confirmed that with Xero, and so we'll have to look to see, make sure it does that with the other programs too. But that's the key there. It's got to have an attachment.
I'm looking forward to help you with going through the process and show you more features we are working on that will make you decide to use Link4, I'm sure.
Excellent. All right, Sam, we'll set up a time for later in this month then.
Great.
Well, I think that's probably wraps it all up. So I want to say thank yous to the presenters and our wonderful questions from Sholto as per usual.
Pleasure.
And so we're going to obviously we're going to post this on as a recording. So if you want to say thank you, then we can finalise and we'll get this out.
Terrific. All right. Thanks very much, Sam and Robin. Great to talk to you both.
Thank you too, Paul.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much to Suzanne for joining the call.